Have you ever wondered how we can care for our aging loved ones without losing our peace of mind or breaking the bank? It's a question many of us quietly carry. And the answer? It might not be what you expect. In this video, I'll take you inside the lives of 3 remarkable seniors who've each discovered their own way to age with dignity, purpose, and joy on their own terms. You'll meet Mr. Lin, a 75-year-old widower who built a community of support when traditional care failed him. Then there's Mr. Chen, 65, who found freedom through a new kind of home-based service. And finally, Ms. Lu, 67, who, after a series of painful trials, crafted a lifestyle rooted in independence and self-respect. These are not just stories. They are lessons in resilience, adaptation, and the quiet power of choice. You'll see how family dynamics, community support, and the courage to try something different can make all the difference in later life. So, if you care about someone who's growing older, or if you're planning for your own future, this journey is for you. Stick around. What you'll hear next just might change the way you think about aging forever. Story 1. Mr. Lin, age 75. No place like home. Mr. Lin's journey into elderhood didn't begin with celebration. It began with loss. The year he turned 70, his beloved wife passed away. For over 5 decades, she'd been his partner in everything: meals, routines, quiet morning teas, and suddenly it was just him, alone in the home they once built together. "I never learned to cook," he said, with a soft chuckle. But grief teaches you to survive. Worried for his well-being, his adult children stepped in. They hired a live-in caregiver, 5,500 yuan a month. She was kind at first, but as weeks passed, it was clear she was more glued to her phone than to the man she was meant to care for. Her cooking was barely edible, and worse, she rarely listened when he called. "It felt like I was the one taking care of her," Mr. Lin recalled, "and I was paying for it." So he let her go. Next came a stint in a local nursing home. It had clean rooms, daily schedules, even weekly activities. But to Mr. Lin, it felt like a cage. He couldn't leave without registering. He couldn't stroll the neighborhood like he used to. And worst of all, the quiet reminders of mortality. Ambulances arriving, beds suddenly empty, hung heavy in the air. "I lasted less than a month," he said. "Freedom matters more to me than convenience." Still, his children were concerned. They rotated care. He stayed with one son, then a daughter. But in each home, Mr. Lin felt like a guest, or worse, a burden. At his son's house, he noticed his chopsticks were different. His utensils, too. Subtle, but it stung. And at his daughter-in-law's place, she refused to let him use the washing machine, claiming his clothes had an old people smell. So every week, he dragged his laundry down to the public laundromat. "There's no malice in their hearts," Mr. Lin said quietly, "but when you're old, even kindness can feel cold." Eventually, he made a decision. He returned to his own apartment. He taught himself how to stir-fry, learned how to make steamed buns, and every morning, he joined a group of seniors in the town square to practice Tai Chi. It wasn't just about movement. It was about connection. Together, they built something remarkable. What began as a casual meetup turned into a WeChat group of seniors who lived alone but supported one another. They checked in daily. If someone didn't reply, others would visit. If anyone needed help, hospital runs, groceries, soup when they were sick, they'd step in, and they paid each other fairly. 8 yuan per hour, no guilt, no obligation, just mutual respect. "It's simple," Mr. Lin said. "One day I help you, another day you help me." Today, over 20 members strong, this senior support circle is more than a group. It's a lifeline. It's community. It's dignity. It's the kind of aging Mr. Lin never imagined, but now wouldn't trade for anything. For just a few hundred yuan a month, he has what no nursing home ever gave him: freedom, purpose, and people who truly care. And that brings us to another story, one where the idea of independence takes an unexpected modern twist. Story 2. Mr. Chen, age 75. a new kind of care. If Mr. Lin's story was about rediscovering freedom through community, then Mr. Chen's journey is about embracing quiet independence with just the right touch of modern help. At 65, Mr. Chen lives alone in a cozy apartment on the edge of the city. A retired teacher with a pension of 6,000 yuan per month, he enjoys the simple pleasures of life, reading, writing, tending to his indoor garden, and sipping tea by the window. His children live nearby, just a half-hour drive away, but he rarely visits them unannounced. They have their own lives, he says, and I have mine. Since his wife passed away 2 years ago, people have urged him to remarry. But Mr. Chen isn't interested. I've already loved once, he says with a gentle smile. That's enough. Though he values solitude, his children worry. They've begged him to move in. They've suggested senior homes. But each time, he politely declines. I don't want to feel like a guest in my own family, he explains. Eventually, they proposed something different. His daughter called one evening with a new idea, something between full independence and full-time care. Not a caregiver in the traditional sense, but a service designed specifically for seniors like him. It involved meal deliveries, regular check-ins, and even laundry every couple of days. Cameras could be installed discreetly to provide peace of mind, not for him, but for his children. Mr. Chen was skeptical at first. Cameras, he laughed. What am I? A reality show star. But the more she explained, the more it made sense. The system offered flexibility and respect. He could cook if he wanted, or not. He could wash his own clothes or request help. If he ever felt dissatisfied with a staff member, a replacement could be arranged. Then came the cost. 2,500 yuan a month. His children offered to pay. Don't worry about the money, his daughter insisted. Just enjoy your life. But Mr. Chen refused. I can afford it, and I want to keep my dignity intact. So they agreed. He would pay for it himself. And slowly, Mr. Chen grew to love this new rhythm. Meals arrived hot and flavorful. He still kept his daily tea rituals and long walks, but now he also had the assurance that someone would always know if something went wrong. It's like having a safety net that never gets in your way, he said. More importantly, he didn't feel watched. He felt respected. I'm not anyone's burden, he said proudly, and I'm not alone. For Mr. Chen, aging hasn't meant giving up his way of life. It's meant adapting gracefully. With a little help from technology and a lot of love from his family, he's crafted a life that feels both safe and free. And sometimes, freedom means saying yes, not to tradition, but to something entirely new. But what if you try it all, family, companionship, new solutions, and still feel like you don't belong? For one woman, that question led her on an emotional journey no one could have predicted. Story 3. Ms. Lu, age 67, finding home again. If Mr. Lin built his own village and Mr. Chen found peace in solitude, then Ms. Lu's journey was a winding road of love, loss, rejection, and rediscovery. At 67, she was once a respected supervisor at a state-owned garment factory. Her pension now is just over 4,200 yuan a month. She has 2 adult children, both thriving. Her son has a home and a career in Shingo, and her daughter lives farther away, juggling work and raising 2 kids of her own. For a while, Ms. Lu dreamed of enjoying a quiet retirement with her husband. But life had other plans. One evening, her husband, her partner for nearly 4 decades, suffered a massive stroke and passed away. The grief was paralyzing. The silence in their home was deafening. Even the sound of the wind seemed heavier. In the months that followed, I couldn't sleep, she said. Everywhere I looked, I saw him. Her children, kind and loving, reached out. Her daughter offered to bring her home. Her son, too, asked her to stay. Still mourning, she decided to stay with her son and help with the grandkids, hoping to feel needed again. But reality didn't match her hopes. The warmth she expected had cooled. Her daughter-in-law, once cordial, was distant. She hadn't forgotten that Ms. Lu had been unable to help raise their second child due to her husband's illness. Resentment lingered in the small things, the way she slammed cabinet doors, the silence at dinner, the tension in every shared room. Cooking and cleaning quietly became Ms. Lu's responsibility. Once, when her young granddaughter questioned her cooking, her daughter-in-law stood and left the room without a word, taking the children with her. The message was loud and clear. She was not welcome. 2 weeks in, Ms. Lu packed her bags and asked her son to drive her home. She didn't cry. She just nodded politely, thanked them, and left. Shortly after, her daughter called again. "Come stay with me for a while, Mom," she offered. But the experience at her son's house had left scars. "No, sweetheart," Ms. Lu replied. "You have your family. I'll be all right." Still, loneliness crept in. A neighbor suggested she consider companionship, not caregiving, not cohabitation, but someone to share time with. That's how she met Mr. Lau, a widower with a steady pension and a friendly demeanor. At first, it was refreshing. Walks through the morning market, shared laughter over steamed buns, the promise of companionship without expectations. But when she moved into his apartment, the cracks formed fast. He became dismissive, left the house all day to play cards, expected dinner on the table, and when she asked him to share the household chores they'd agreed on, he shrugged it off. "I'm covering your expenses," he said. "What more do you want?" Then came the gold ring. Ms. Lu saw a simple band in a shop window, less than 500 yuan. She asked him to buy it, a small token to mark their time together. He scoffed, saying they were too old for that nonsense. "Better to spend that money on pork ribs," he muttered. So, she bought it herself, and that night she packed her bags again. "I realized," she said, "I'm not here to raise another man." Back in her own home, she sat alone, surrounded once again by memories. The walls, the chair, the echo of footsteps that no longer came. She tried to convince herself solitude was enough, but it wasn't. Then, during a neighbor's wedding, a friend mentioned something different. A senior-friendly hotel apartment. Clean, cozy, full of natural light. Meals served, rooms cleaned, and, most importantly, freedom. They visited together. Ms. Lu was astonished. It wasn't a nursing home. It felt like a boutique retreat for the elderly who could still care for themselves. She ran the numbers. Her pension, plus rental income from her house, could cover it. Her children worried. "It's too expensive," they said. But she gently replied, "Then just help me a little. 1,000 yuan a month, that's all I need." Now she wakes up to a warm breakfast, strolls through the courtyard, and shares stories with neighbors who feel more like family. "I've worked my whole life," she said. "Now it's my turn to live it my way." Hotel apartments like hers may not suit everyone. They only accept seniors under 75 who are still self-sufficient. But for Ms. Lu, it's not just a place to stay. It's the home she finally chose for herself. But not every story ends in separation. In fact, for some families, aging together can be a source of strength if done with care, understanding, and respect. Living together, keys to harmonious coexistence. Not every elder walks the path of solitude. Some choose, by circumstance or by love, to live with their children. In the right setting, it can be beautiful. Generations under one roof, laughter echoing in the halls, wisdom passed down over dinner. But as Ms. Lu's experience reminds us, shared walls don't always mean shared peace. When parents and adult children live together, it isn't just about space. It's about boundaries, respect, and emotional balance. So, how do we make it work? It begins with honest communication. Before moving in, both sides should sit down and speak openly, not just about logistics, but about expectations, fears, and roles. Who handles chores? What about finances? How much privacy does each person need? When these conversations happen early, misunderstandings are less likely to grow into silent resentments. Next comes respecting personal space. Even when living under the same roof, each person needs room to breathe. Adult children have their own routines, careers, and families. Elderly parents have habits, beliefs, and emotional rhythms shaped by decades. Honoring these differences means less conflict and more compassion. Maintaining independence is another quiet key to harmony. Aging parents often fear becoming a burden, but staying active physically, socially, emotionally can help them feel valuable. Whether it's a weekly Tai Chi class, a book club, or helping around the home in ways that feel meaningful, this autonomy nurtures confidence. Likewise, adult children must recognize that their parents' emotional needs evolve. With aging often comes a sense of vulnerability or even grief over lost roles and identity. Listening without judgment, offering patience, and checking in emotionally, these small acts can carry deep impact. Flexibility is vital too. Life shifts, schedules change, tensions flare. But when both sides remain adaptable, willing to adjust, rather than stand firm on pride, the household becomes a space of give and take, not control. Above all, gratitude is the glue. Parents should express appreciation, not just for shelter, but for the effort their children make. A simple thank you, a shared meal, a word of encouragement. Children, in turn, should acknowledge what their parents still bring to the home: stories, warmth, even quiet presence. A word of kindness can rewrite an entire day. In the best cases, living together becomes a chance for healing, not just a solution, but a gift. A way to reconnect across generations and rediscover how much we still need each other. And as we've seen throughout these stories, whether aging in community, in solitude, in companionship, or under a shared roof, one truth remains. Aging well isn't about choosing the perfect place. It's about choosing what gives us dignity, peace, and the freedom to still be ourselves. Let's wrap things up with a final thought and a call to action we can all be part of. As we've journeyed through the lives of Mr. Lin, Mr. Chen, and Ms. Lu, one message echoes above all. There is no single path to aging with dignity, only the one that honors who we are and who we've become. Mr. Lin found strength in community, building a grassroots system of support among peers. Mr. Chen embraced new tools that preserved his independence while easing his children's worry. And Ms. Lu, after enduring loneliness and rejection, carved out a life of quiet freedom and daily comfort in a place she could finally call home. None of their paths were perfect, but each was chosen. And in that choice lies the real power of aging well. Whether you're a senior yourself, a concerned son or daughter, or simply someone who cares about building a more compassionate world, their stories remind us that elder care is not just a service, it's a reflection of our values, of how we see our parents, of how we hope to be seen one day. The future of aging isn't found in expensive facilities or polished advertisements. It's found in connection, creativity, and courage, in listening, in adapting, and sometimes in daring to start over. So here's what you can do. Talk to your parents. Check in with an elderly neighbor. Ask, not what's convenient, but what makes them feel alive. And if you're walking into old age yourself, ask boldly, what kind of life do I still want to live? If these stories inspired you, even a little, help us keep the conversation going. Leave a comment below with a 9 if you felt moved, or 0 if you think there's still more to learn. We read every response, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more honest, hopeful stories about aging, family, and resilience. Because together, we can create a world where no one grows old feeling invisible, a world where aging isn't endured, but embraced.